our geography teacher, Miss A. Noy, and I'm Mrs. Tia Swasta. I have been communicating with you over the last 2 days. Thank you so much,
Hi,
sir.
ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir. You can, the floor is all yours, sir. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Biswas, for those lovely words. I hope everybody can listen to me because I was having some problems in listening to Mrs.
Yes,
Biswas.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. I mean, a very good evening to all the students and respected teachers. It's so nice to be a part of such a nice initiative. I mean, I really hope students, and I say it from the bottom of my heart, that we had something like this when we were growing up. But Loreto, this whole brand has been something which has always supported things apart from studies. I mean, conventional studies. And there's a huge world apart from studies, which we all know, but probably seldom give much importance to. But there are many aspects apart from your conventional studies. Obviously studies is important, and I agree. There are certain other things also that people love to do and actually can make a profession out of it. So thank you, Loreto and Tali, for actually organizing this. This is such a great initiative. I mean, not wasting much time. I mean, sports management was something which was not very prevalent in the times when I was growing up. And I realized very early that I could not be a professional sports person because, to be honest, I was never very good at. I mean, I love playing sport, but I was never good at that good at something which I can make a profession out of it. But I was always intrigued by sports and wanted to know all the intricate details about it. And started with cricket, obviously, as all Indians have. I mean, back when I was growing up, cricket had already become popular, but there were other sports like say football primarily. Kolkata and Bengal is known to be uh, avid football followers. We already had a great match last evening, the first derby of the season, and we were all excited. So football, tennis to start with, and later on, I still keep learning. I mean, for example, that day only I learned about golf, and I am now intrigued about golf also. So there are many aspects to it. So when I realized that, see, this cannot be a profession. I mean, I cannot go play it. Why not do something about it? Then I learned, did my research, learned a lot about it, that what this whole sports management is about. So sports management basically is what we watch on TV, whatever is happening, whatever sports events that happen on TV, off TV, or anything. Everything which goes behind the scene is sports management. Right from getting the players on the field, right from making the team, right from making sure the ground is all right from making sure that we are getting the correct footage on TV. And trust me, the the horizon is increasing day by day. I mean, with the advent of television and modernization of games, I mean, we all see that. Uh, I mean, for example, in an IPL game, there's a strategic timeout which happens in between. There's an aspect of sports management to it as well. I mean, we need to look at the business of sports. So that is very important. And we need to make sure that everything is in place. So that is sports management to you. There are various aspects to it. I mean, right from the operational part. I mean, for example, if I take a FIFA World Cup, say, it's a huge event seen by all around the world, right? From making sure the tournament directives and rules are in place, the teams are in place, their match scheduling, making sure the broadcasting unit is in place, everything. And I mean, day by day, as I already said, the horizons are expanding, and there are various new opportunities which is arising out of this whole scenario and this profession. I mean, when I was a kid, if someone used to ask me that, if someone had asked me that, see, anything about sports management, I would have said probably, this is something to do with playing, but this is not. This is something to do with making sure the player gets on the field properly and making sure the event happens. So, I mean, there are various events happening these days, which was not the case, say, 10 years from now. For example, running has become a very good thing. I mean, people are into fitness and people are running a lot. Marathons are big events. I mean, just tomorrow only, one of the biggest running events of our country is going to take place in Delhi. It's called the Airtel Delhi Half Marathon. No, these did not used to happen back in the day. So we were not exposed to that. Our very own Kolkata has marathons like the TSK Tata 25K and the Kolkata Full Marathon, which our company assists in doing. So, so it is I mean, the expanse is huge, and it's better that we interact and I'm sure there'll be questions which you would want to ask me about. And just before that, going before that, I mean, since you guys are just on the verge of making your career decisions and what you want to do in your life, so sports management is something, the three things which I think is something which is needed in this profession of mine. Because to say, like every other profession, there'll be highs and lows, there'll be good days, there'll be bad days, but that fire in within, that passion, that love for the thing, as we all said, as the other distinguished speakers also said, that if you love something from within, you got to keep believing that someday it will happen. There'll be bad days, there'll be times that you will want to feel that, I can move on to a quote unquote safer job, like probably be a doctor or an engineer. I was supposed to be probably a banking person, but then I followed my calling, and thanks to my parents that they had given me the full liberty of doing whatever I wanted to do. Because, and that is very important, that is a call out to all the parents also, that be there for your kids, but also let them fly on their own and choose what they want to do. So this is what I wanted to do, and that is that love and passion for sports is something which keeps me going every single day. So something which is very important is passion. Second is knowledge, as some of the speakers rightly said, that you need to keep yourself updated and see how you can help in this particular field or any field that you are working in. So that is very important. Another thing is commitment and the belief. You got to keep believing that it will happen, things will happen, and everything is going to be all right. So, ma'am, I think I can open the floor for people to ask me questions, and I can just interact with them.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, yes, sure, sir. Sir, have you visited Loreto Entirely?
Uh, uh,
Have you visited our
we have, ma'am. Actually, our company has also been involved in football coaching, and Loreto has been as a concern, has been very close to us. I mean, we have got personal friends there. I mean, as my colleagues also had, and we have always been wherever and whenever we have done events, and most of our events as a company, High Life Management, is focused towards grassroots development, because I believe that we go into the glitz and glamour of the game. I mean, that is the end product, but there's a lot of things, a lot of work that goes behind the scene, and there are a lot of things that you need to do to make sure that players perform at a certain level. And India, it's very hard to see, apart from cricket, lagging behind in a lot of things. Like for example, primarily Olympics, which is the probably the most followed event in this whole world, followed very closely by the football World Cup. But it's very hard to see that people supporting. I also support a country in the football World Cup, but I would love to support India. So one day, so this is what we believe in doing. I mean, improving the grassroots, the kids, the future of our nation, the champions of tomorrow, so that one day we can also proudly say that, we are on the top and USA and China are on second and third in the Olympics, the medals table. So, yeah.
may I ask a question, sir?
Please, please.
Now, in every, yes, sir, in every sport, I have seen for myself the top people. I mean, the opportunity comes from the rural areas. The talent is always from the rural areas of our country. The hidden talent, if I may say. Why is there? Why is that so, sir?
So,
Whether it's table tennis, you will have North Bengal. Whether it's the hockey players, you will have the northern part of our country, the cricketers from the western part of our country, and from the rural areas, sir.
I'll tell you. I have a very good answer for this question because I have also thought about it, ma'am. Thanks for asking this question. Because when I was joining this whole, field, I was also intrigued that why are people, I was very, I was an avid follower of football. So why are most of the footballers coming from outskirts and not from the, Kolkata or the proper cities? The thing is that the standard of life in a city is higher than the standard of life in a suburban place or a village. So the problem is that people are people always want a people in India always want a backup option. That if you fail in something, what else? I mean, what then? I mean, studies, because studies is something which is a safer option. Obviously, this is something I keep on saying that we should not neglect our studies. And but at the same time, we are scared that if because India is a country that there's an abundance in population and the resources are huge, but the opportunities are less. I mean, you can only have 11 players playing in the cricket field for you, or for that matter, I mean, say 11 players representing the country in any other sport, football, or for that matter. So, and at the same time, India is such a country, it's developing by leaps and bounds, and I believe that, but it's still not at par with some of the Western countries, and I understand the situation. There's a difference, there's a gap. So, because of this gap in infrastructure and the facilities, parents, and especially, let me be honest with you, middle class parents are scared to put their kids onto sports because they always have a fallback option if they go into studies and give it more importance. To be very honest, if you want to continue or pursue a career as a sports person, after a point in time, you cannot concentrate on studies that much. If you can, it's great, but you should give sports that much equal time also. If you want to pursue a career as an athlete, that is. So the case is completely different in case of a say rural background where they have nothing to lose, so they go all heart all out. So that is why we see all these players coming out from these outskirts and these rural places. Also, one more thing that is very important is this community culture of sports. Like, I feel very sad to see that, say, 20 years back when I was growing up, I used to play in my pada every day. Be it cricket, be it hide and seek, be it football, be it badminton, be it anything. That is just lost now. People are hooked onto their mobile phones, kids these days. I know there's a lot of pressure of studies on them, but that me time, that time with your friends is also very important. That culture needs to come in. I mean, it's a cycle. I mean, if we follow sport, money comes into sport because sponsors come into sport. And if sponsors come into sports, the facilities get developed, the players get paid more. And if that happens, more people come into sport. It's a cycle. We need to change it.
Thank you, sir. It's very true. Children are not playing as in going out, not considering the situation now. Otherwise, also, sir, they are so tied up with academics, with studies. Evening time, if you ask the child, did you go out to play with your friends? Either they have no friends in their buildings, or they belong to a nuclear family, or they don't have any play area, sir. That's very sad. But in our schools, sir, a lot of initiatives have been taken by our principal ma'am and sisters, because we are blessed to have such beautiful grounds. After school hours, ma'am had kindly arranged for rugby, football classes. physical training, karate, sir, these things have come up and children have come in and they are doing, they were quite eager to join these classes, but very unfortunate from March, children are at home from end of March. I hope we get over this. And children, I feel that physically playing a sport is very important to get the matter. Instead of watching a sport on television, go out and play. That would give you more exposure. That's what I'm trying to say, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, children, you may go ahead with your questions.
No one needs to be shy. You can ask me the stupidest of questions.
Rosa, why don't you start? You're a fine sportswoman, Rosa.
Okay, I mean, I think they'll take that time, but one thing taking from where you, I mean, finished is that it's actually a blessing for all the
Yes.
students of Loreto, because of the greenery and the ground that you have. I have been to your school, and it's been a great experience there because okay, someone wants to ask me something. No, so the thing is that what I was saying is that for a city like Kolkata, which is ever so expanding, and most of the schools are concrete jungles, as they say. But to have a ground like that, which Loreto Entally has, it's brilliant to see that. And I know for a fact how much the school supports sports, and we have also been involved as a company in the sport. It has been a great experience. So yeah. So anyone who wants to ask me a question, please shoot.
So maybe you could tell them how they could begin to start with. If they are interested, how would they begin? What are the options? How would they branch off into this profession?
Okay. That's a nice way actually. So see, there are various options. So sports management also has different kinds of courses. Like in India itself, I'm not talking about the courses abroad. I mean, there are obviously courses abroad because this whole concept of sports management came into place. I mean, in the Western countries way before us, but we have caught up, and we should be very proud of products like IPL. IPL is something which the whole world watches. So there are great opportunities. So there are courses which provide you 5 year detailed into sports management, but there are less courses like that which you can join after class 12. But the major courses in India are the ones which you can take up after graduating. So, like what I did was I did my graduation in commerce. Then I wanted to join a sports management institute. And lucky for me that I had applied in two or three sports management institutes across the country. And I got through in the others too also. But the best part was when I got through to the college, which is in Kolkata. It is called the IISWBM, Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management. It's in College Street. So they are the oldest to get sports management in India. So they are the pioneers of sports management, this course per se. And I have done a MBA in sports management there. So there are two kinds of sports management after you graduate. So one is a 2 year course and one is a 1 year course. In most of the places, you get a 1 year course, which is like a postgraduate diploma, which is the case in Calcutta also, where there are various subjects which are some are correlated to sports, but sports management, like in any other profession of management, has a lot of management side to it as well. There are various things which is similar to many things, like say for example, budgeting, PR, HR, everything is same as any other product or field of work as well. So there are these subjects as well, On top of that, there are some core subjects which lets you know, venture into this world of sport and get good knowledge about it. And these things are only enlarged in a 2 year course, which a lot of colleges also offer. So in Kolkata, it's ISWBM, and that is where I have done my sports management course from. So yeah, so the courses which is available in India is mostly after you complete your graduation, and there's a small criteria which I need to tell you guys that in most of these colleges, the minimum percentage for graduation is 50%. I think it's easy to achieve if you concentrate a bit, because that is something which they require for you to actually apply for the course. 50% in your uh, plus three, as in the graduation, whatever you do your graduation in.
Thank you, sir. So we will have to finish college first. Children will have to finish college first and
Right,
then venture into sports.
right,
So the
right,
basic education is must, sir.
right,
Children, listen, basic education, college is must. After that, you may move out.
right.
Yes, yes, sir.
No, yes. So that is how the pattern of sports management majorly in India is. And yes, you have to finish college first and that in get into sports management. But that does not mean that we can't do anything from here. I mean, there are various online courses you can read up. I mean, I have realized late in life, but I now have started doing reading is something which is very important. Okay, we see all these things on TV and on social media, but I mean, training what is right and what is wrong is gets very difficult, especially for our kids and growing up, which where they have access to so much content. So reading is something which streamlines things for you, because you have to actually put an effort to read something. Because when you're watching something on TV, it's just happening, and you're even if you're not paying attention to it, it's just playing. But so start reading up on things like that, things what interests you, all the various things like who sponsors a team, what are the things which happens. Like you have seen that Byju's is the sponsor for the shirt sponsor for Team India. Nike used to sponsor their kit, but MPL, another gaming site, is sponsoring their kit sponsor now. See, as I was saying, it's expanding every day. This Dream 11, this whole company, is an app based out of sports, right? I mean, it's fantasy gaming that has boomed, and you see there are lots of similar apps like My Dream, My 11 Circle, MPL, lots of other things, Fan Code, Fan Slide. There are lots of other, I mean, gaming apps which have started, which all revolve around this sports only, and be it football, cricket, and other sports. So, see, the opportunities are increasing, and there are vacancies getting created. What you need to do is that, as I will keep on repeating, that you need to have that passion that even if I can't play, even if I can't be a Virat Kohli, I'll be the person who makes sure that the Virat Kohli or the likes of them is actually on the field, making sure that we get to see a final product that is very good. So that is very important. So
And one must be very physically and mentally fit also to join the sports. That's very important, I feel, sir.
see, yeah, I agree to a bit to your point that physical fitness is important in everything. I mean, obviously, whenever we are not talking about professional sports person here, but there are lots of things which you need to do. I mean, since our industry here is booming, so this is a very strange question that people ask me. That what is your job role? What is it that you do in your company? I know I have a designation, but I need to know from this end to that for a sports. I mean, and that is there with everyone in this company. And obviously, we specialize in something. Everyone specializes in something, but you need to know from one end to the other of a sports event when you are conceptualizing something or going to do it. There are things that you need to know. It's not that I mean I am part of the operations team. I won't do that. No, you need to have an idea of both. So I guess that calling that passion gets that whole thing into you that you need to uh, know every bit of it, and that's what it is. Obviously, things are gonna get better, and it's gonna get branched out. But as of now, it's like you're like jack of all trade and a master of few. That is what I'm gonna say describe it as. So I know that this past 7 8 months have been very difficult for everyone, all the kids, and we understand that more than anybody else. We are the ones who are out on our tours, on our events to various cities. This is something also which sports management brings to the table. You get to travel a lot. Okay, get to travel a lot. That has helped me because when I was in Bangalore, I was doing grassroots development in football. I was part of a company who used to run football academies, and they were doing a pretty good job because a lot of players from the under 17 World Cup were part of the academy, which I was a part of in Bangalore. But then, as I had mentioned earlier, also I also wanted to do new things and learn more. That is very important. Learn more about this industry, and I was probably getting stagnated there, as you can say. So I had actually come for a holiday. So all the students, it's a nice fun fact. I had come here for a back for a holiday, and then my friend used to work in this company, and he had called me for an interview. He said, you are into football, and we are trying to do something over football with the company I'm working for. Why don't you come for an interview? I was not ready for an interview because I had come after a year for a holiday, and I went, did the interview, and something clicked, and we immediately were on the same page. The director of my company, Mr. Saurav Chatterjee, was there taking my interview. And it was not an interview, it was an interactive session where he wanted to know what my ideas are, what I wanted to do in life, what drove me to sports. So he really liked it and he wanted me to join next day. I thought I need some time to think about it because I was already working for a company in Bangalore. So, and it so happened that I never went back to Bangalore. I actually got in touch with them. They understood that I wanted to move on. And yeah, since then I have been a part of this company and it has been a great ride. Uh, why don't you guys ask me something? I mean, all these lovely students here, Pallavi, Adreja, Annie, Arpita, anyone?
Adrija is our teacher. She's our geography teacher.
Okay, okay, okay. Very sorry, ma'am.
So
Okay,
that's okay.
Miss Roy, you can ask. Miss Roy,
Oh,
you
so
can
that's
ask the question. Children, ask some questions.
So I'm just helping the students. Maybe they're not able to think or they're feeling shy.
Right,
Another thing
right,
that
right,
possibly could come to their mind is what are the difficulties they are likely to encounter, sir, when they
right.
are pursuing this kind of a job or a profession?
The first difficulty being, I mean, there are two sides to it. The first difficulty being the sports management industry yet is not that structured as compared to a say an IT industry or a banking sector where people knows in and out about it and there's a structure to it. There will be days where you will find it difficult to survive. You'll find what the hell am I doing? Sorry for the pardon me for the language, but there will be moments where you'll feel that I'm not probably meant for this thing because to be very honest, it's not, there are not many companies like, for example, as compared to the other fields, as I said, like probably an engineer or an IT person, there are not many companies in India doing sports management because it's still, as I said, it's booming. But on the contrary, I would want to say that things are moving ahead really rapidly in the favor of the development of sports. So one of the difficulties, to be very honest, in course term is that sports management to start off with might not pay you that well. Okay, and it's from a personal experience. But if you have the passion, you got to hang in there because, as someone rightly said, that See, what's very important is that you enjoy what you're doing. Then only it's not a chore for you. You are enjoying what you're doing, and that's like, I mean, your work is fun. That is something which is going to be adequate, and this is something which you will all enjoy in this profession. But to start off, there will be difficult days, but as I said, you got to hang in there, and obviously, after a point, you need to you need to be there, and then things start working, which has happened to me. I can tell you from my personal experience that yeah, I mean, there used to be times that I used to think that what am I doing? But I have reached a situation now, and obviously learned a lot on the job. That helps. That obviously helps when your skill set develops. Also, networking is something which is very important here. You need to know the right people in the right places. So that is why keeping updated and getting knowledge and reading is very important. Yeah, yeah, that is to answer you, Sethi.
Miss Chatterjee, would you like to ask some question, Miss Chatterjee?
Ma'am, just now I joined, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Miss Chatterjee is our physical education teacher.
Good evening,
Would
sir.
you like
Good evening.
to?
Hi, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. Nice to
Good
meet
evening.
you.
Mm.
Same here, ma'am. Same here, sir.
I
What about
was
Isha and Veronica? I think you should be asking questions. Surely there
stu-
must be some thoughts coming to you.
students. You can type your questions as well. I
Yes.
think ma'am can
Yes.
coordinate, and I can also check. Is that possible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Someone asked. Actually, someone asked. So, what are the basic things we need for sports? Okay, okay. That's Arafa, Arafa Alam, right? Hi, hi, Arafa. So, see, I'm not here to talk about being. So, we need for sports means what? I mean, if you want to be an athlete, there is a different sector altogether. But what you want to have, what you need for sports management to be in the profession is that interest for sports. Simple thing. If you have interest for sports and you have a keen interest in learning new things, I mean, whenever you uh, see something on TV, or for example, I mean, the world is moving so fast, like these social media posts also. We see uh, sports celebrities, I mean, endorsing a product. Saurav Ganguly doing an ad, Virat Kohli doing many ads, Sachin Tendulkar, everyone. I mean, the footballers, Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu, everyone. So that is also a part of sports management. I mean, there are special people, and we as a company also do it, who manage celebrities and manage endorsements for them. So that also comes under the purview of this whole thing. So to answer your question simply, uh, you need to have an interest in sports. That's it, and you need to be passionate about it. Later on, things will come, and you can obviously start reading. That is something you should do at this age, and things will fall into place. Just keep believing and have the passion on. That is the thing. I mean, anyone else can just type in the question. I can see the questions and I can answer. You're welcome. You're welcome, Arifa. Anything about any personal experience or something if you want to know that I've had being in this field for so long? Uh, Places I've visited. I've actually visited all of India, and thanks to my profession for it, I've been to places that I have always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to Lucknow and try kebabs out there. To be very honest, I'm a foodie and I always wanted to do that. Thanks to my profession, that I have been to Lucknow in the last 4 years, probably 6 or 7 times. So my wish list has been ticked. So that is something. A now moment came in my career when I actually had gone to CAB. CAB is the Cricket Association of Bengal, which heads the Bengal cricket, which is at the Eden Gardens. And I had gone there for some work because CAB, the Bengal Cricket was one of our clients, and we had got the sponsorship for them. So, and I suddenly see Muthai Muralidharan. Now, me being a cricket fan, was I had been following him since my childhood, and he used to always bowl good against India. I used to hate that fact, but I used to admire that person. Such a humble guy, yet he was a champion in what he did. So when I met him, you know what he asked me? India and Sri Lanka were playing at that day somewhere in India. I don't remember the venue, and he was actually coaching the young kids of Bengal. There's a program which the CAB runs, which is called Mission 2020, where Mutha Muralidharan and VVS Lakshman. I hope you guys have heard about these names, Mutha Muralidharan, and both legends in their field. And they are the mentors to our Bengal young cricketers. So I was actually overawed. It was like a starstruck moment for me. But then he just came up to me like a normal guy, and he asked me, "Can you tell me what is the score?" So his country was playing and they were losing. Huh? India was winning. So I was overjoyed, and I learned something that how much ever big you become in life, you should always be humble, and that's something which I've taken back home from that day. So that was a great moment for me in my career, and thanks to my profession, I got to meet Mr. Muthamudledaran. There have been other cricketers, footballers also that I've uh, come in touch with. If I don't know whether you guys watch football. I mean, Acha, let's discuss what are the sports that you guys are interested in. What are the sports you follow? I mean, you guys can write. This you can write. What are
Sir,
the
they are
sports you
doing
follow?
now cricket.
They're doing cricket.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Give
Okay.
some motivation, like any
Basketball.
important role, goal setting, and positive self-talk. Like,
Children, you can
So
unmute
I
yourself and answer this at least first, sir. You play so many sports in school. Just answer. Just unmute yourself, or you can type it in the chat for him.
basketball. Great. A lot of people have said basketball. Nice. Nice to see. So now tell me how many of you have seen The Last Dance? If you guys like basketball, how many of you have seen The Last Dance? So I know probably online time is rationed for all of you, and you spend a lot of time these days online. But whoever has access and whenever you get a time, there's a show on Netflix called Basketball, which is called The Last Dance, and this is on the team called Chicago Bulls. People who follow basketball will know Chicago Bulls is a team in the NBA, National Basketball Association in the US, and undoubtedly the greatest ever player which who to play the game was Michael Jordan. So that series is on him and the entire journey he had and the hard work he put in. So what I mean, commonly see on TV and we get intrigued by and we get overjoyed by the appearance and the final product. What we don't say is the hard work which goes into this whole thing. Like we are all in overall with Mr. Virat Kohli. He's the Indian cricket team captain, and his fitness levels and the runs and the tons of runs he scores. But what we do not know is the fitness and the hard work that goes in. I know it for a fact, and I have listened to an interview of Virat Kohli. Mr. Virat Kohli had not had a cheat meal in the last 10 years. Can you imagine the kind of dedication? He loves to have chole bhature, but he has never had a bite of chole bhature in the last 10 years because he thinks that he's so passionate about his sport, about cricket, that will be cheating. I mean, that's another level of dedication. But what I want to say is that there is always hard work. And if you put in the hard work, you just got to hang in there and things will come in your favor. So yeah. So cricket, for example, I just was watching. I also do a lot of Instagram for your information. Instagram and Facebook. It's a nice way to connect with your age category and the next gen. So there's a page, ICC page. ICC is the International Cricket Council, and they had posted a very nice video So the people who playing cricket, have you heard of someone called Jhulan Goswami? Jhulan Goswami has
Yes,
been the
sir.
ex
Yes,
India
yes.
Yes, Bengal,
ex.
Yes,
Jhulan
yes.
Goswami.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
So Jhulan Goswami is an ex Indian cricketer, and she has been the captain of our side, and she is the highest wicket taker in all forms of cricket in international cricket, women's international cricket. She's a legend in herself. I mean, doesn't need introduction. But there was a Pakistani cricketer called Samira Alam, and she had seen Jhulan Goswami back in 2004 when Jhulan Goswami debuted, and this Pakistani girl was a ball picker, as in the ball girls on the sides of the boundary. She was that, and Jhulan Goswami was the one who inspired her to take up that sport, and she's one of the finest bowlers of the world today. So I know there has been a lot of tension between India and Pakistan in the past, say, how many 20 years or so. But sports is something which is a great leveler, and sports is something which can be used to bring people together. So it was really nice to see that video and how Indian legend has inspired a Pakistani young girl to take up that sport and now to excel in her career. So I mean, the examples are many in cricket. We are doing, and I actually met Jhulan Goswami also in the CAB Awards, and trust me, she's very tall. She's very tall. I was just going inside the Eden Gardens, and I just saw her coming out, and it was like a startling moment for me. But she was so tall, and what a persona! So
Yes.
yeah, if she can, why can't you? I mean, if you are good at something, you know, give it a shot. Why not? Anyone else?
So, sir,
Yeah.
sports can be also a good career option that you suggest to all our students.
It is, and there are so many
Mm.
aspects to it, ma'am. Now, I mean, you can get into if you write well, you can be a good content writer for sports. There are so many. There's this thing called Sports Kira. It's an online sports vertical, and where you can get a lot of sport news. There is a thing called Crick Buzz, which gives you scores. Someone good with numbers and maths, you can be associated, and there are various things. I mean, I won't be able to name all. Also, there are so many aspects to it. Someone fancied by say broadcasting can go into that. There are so many channels now, so many sports content, and I know for a fact that there are people who do not have a permanent job. They work freelance for all these leagues. There are all these leagues in India right now, starting from IPL to ISL to say the badminton leagues to the Pro Kabaddi League to the volleyball league is also there. So there are so many things happening. There are lots of opportunities. Just imagine there are so many leagues. There are people needed in the organizational team. There are so many teams in each of the leagues. There are people needed there as well. And this is fun. There will be pressure, and but pressure is fun. But because you know that what you're doing is something you love, something you're passionate about. You're not say so. For my calling was I was determined into going into banking, and I would have been say assistant manager for a bank right now. But crunching for me, uh, I thought was after a point I'm not going to get bored. So if I'm going to get bored with my job, that is the worst thing possible. You need to love what you're doing, and then only you can put in your say 100% into it. So that is something which is very important, and it can be anything. It can be you can be a great violin player also. It can be anything. So people interested in sports, even if you can't, uh, I mean, be a professional sports person, you can still be attached with sports. But one thing that I've started my whole, I mean, discussion with is that you need to start moving out of your mobile phones and start interacting with people. I know this is a situation; it's a tough situation for all of us, but that culture needs to be there. Whatever you play, it doesn't have to be organized. You don't have to have wickets. But playing in the evening or playing on weekends with your friends is something which we should not forget. That is something which keeps you motivated, keeps you happy, and in turn you can actually have a better result in your studies, keeps your mind refreshed. So it's a request to all the parents as well, that you should allow, I mean, studies is important, obviously, as I keep on saying that. And no matter conventional studies or things related to whatever you like, but playing sports is something which is very liberating in itself. So someone asked me about marathon races.
Yes.
Yeah, so marathon, I have been a part of quite a few marathons. I remember in 2018 we were doing a marathon in Guwahati. It was the Northeast's first international marathon. And marathons, kids are nightmares. But the amount of satisfaction you get from marathons, you get from nothing. Because I'm giving a short example, because there are various aspects to it. I'm giving a short example. All the sporting events you see happen inside a stadium or at a ground. Okay, like cricket, football, barry, golf, everything. Marathon happens on the street, which is open for public as well. So you understand the level of organization, precaution, and coordination that goes behind in making sure that the event happens successfully, because you have say 10,000 people running at the same time. And on roads, make sure that the traffic is controlled, the direction is proper, everything on the road is cleared also. So it's madness, but it's a lot of fun. So marathon, I'll tell you. So it comes like we count backwards, as in the marathon starts generally at around 4:30. The full marathon. Full marathon. Can someone tell me what is the distance of a full marathon without googling? Can someone tell me? Just write it in the chat box. I'll count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's okay. I also did not know back when I was your age. So full marathon is 42.195 kilometers. You know how much that is? That's a huge distance. It's a long distance. And a marathoner and people who come in the first 10 do not stop, continuously run. So marathon in itself is magic. Is something which keeps us awake for 2 3 nights before the event, because there are so many coordination which needs to happen. There needs to be water on the route. There needs to be urinals on the route, because people might want to use the blue, right? So positioning of that, there are route marshals, there are paramedics, there are ambulances, lots of things can happen. So we have to be prepared for everything. So being prepared, being over prepared is good at times, but you need to have that checklist sorted. There's a checklist. Checklist is something which we consider as our Bible during events, where you have written down all the minute details and you keep checking if everything is in place. So that needs to be sorted so that you know that the event is going to be. Because once the marathon starts, you cannot do anything. If something you need to make sure, say you are at the starting point and you need to get a what say a volini spray to 15-kilometer mark, it's difficult. You need to plan. So that is what the whole process actually interests me a lot. Marathons are a thing now and people are into fitness and a lot of people are running. We do the Kolkata Full Marathon, which Mr. Sachin Tendulkar is the brand ambassador, which is sponsored by the IDBI Federal Life Insurance. So it's maddening, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's on marathon. Anything else, anybody? Just put in a word, I'll say. Ma'am, what is the current schedule like? I mean, they are obviously having online classes, but
Yes, sir, for classes, we have around 4 periods from Monday to Friday that begins at 8:30, sir. And for board examination classes, we have 5 periods. And Saturday, some subjects which need more attention, we also have classes, and moral science and catechism is also taken on Saturday, sir. We also have the SCPW and PT period during the week, sir. This is for classes 6 to 10. The plus 2 level also, they have regular classes from Monday to Friday. Miss Sethi, how many do they have per day? The class 2, the ISC. Miss Sethi?
They have around 5 classes. This, and on Saturdays is just 2 or 3 maximum. Can you hear me,
Thank you,
Miss?
miss.
Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes, miss. Thank you. But sir, 15-minute break in between the periods. We do not have continuous classes.
right, I can very well understand because I have two relatives. One of my cousins is a teacher in Birla High School, so I know what all difficulties. I want to tell it to all the students
Yes.
also. Be a little bit patient because we are all going through this situation, and trust me, uh, nobody wants the schools to start more than your teachers, and they're doing a lot. I know for a fact because everything is new for us also. Like us speaking on this platform is something new. I mean, when I started talking, I don't know how many of you were there. I forgot to switch on my mic. These things will happen, but they are taking a toll. I know it's a toll on all of you as well because you are locked into your houses for such a long time. But things are going to be uh, very right soon because, as I say, the night is the darkest before the dawn. So hang in there. There is seriously silver lining. There is a silver lining, and things are going to get better. We are on the right track. So hang in there. Someone asked me about athletics, Pallavi. Athletics is something which we again is something which is very dear to us because we have been doing a program called the Champions of Tomorrow, which is in association with the Tata Tea. It's a so Tata Tea have their campaign called the Jagore, where I mean that they promote awakening in different forms. Like and they were promoting awakening in sports, and they wanted to have sports as a compulsory subject in our curriculum. So that led us to actually conceptualize and build this property called the Champions of Tomorrow. It's an under 16 athletics program which we do, and there are a lot of other athletics programs which are happening also by other agencies, by other companies. One major among it is the RFIS, the Reliance Foundation Youth Sports. We also work closely with that for the Kolkata leg. So coming back to Champions of Tomorrow, we do a program where we go out to 6 cities and under 16 kids all over the state in that city are invited to come. There are 5 events: 100 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, long jump, and short put. The best of the best gets the wins the city events, and then we come to a national final. So it's very relevant now because, to be very honest, the second season is going on right now. We have finished with all the 6 cities in the second season, and we are eagerly waiting for our national finals to happen. Because what follows is that the winners of this national finals, the 10 winners, 5 girls and 5 boys, go to the Loughborough University. Loughborough University is a fantastic facility in the United Kingdom, and they train there for 10 days and under the supervision of coaches who have been ex-athletes for the UK in the Olympic Games and the Commonwealth Games medal holders. It's a nice program. So, so why I can relate to you is that I interact with all the under 16 kids who are part of our program. So it has been very difficult for them. Trust me, they are athletes, and they are the ones who practice every day, and playing is life. That ground is their life, but they have been locked in their homes. We have done online sessions with them, and actually it helps because interaction is something which they also need to do. They also need to come out of their shell, because all that they're doing is that studying online classes, and that's it. So we are trying in various ways to engage with them till the national finals happen. Fingers crossed. I hope things fall into place, and a vaccine really comes soon, and this really goes. But what I think, what the pandemic has taught us is that to introspect and to see. I mean, these are, I mean, very big words, but in basic terms, the pandemic has taught us to value the simple things which we take for granted, like going out, like freedom, like talking to someone without a mask, like simple things which we used to take for granted. Now we are actually getting and learning the value for it. So do not take it in a negative way, take it in a positive way. You have had probably had a lot of time with your family, quality time, take that as a positive. But trust me, fingers crossed, things are going to get better now. Yes, ma'am, if you want to say something.
Thank you so much, sir. Teachers, can we call it a day?
Yes.
Miss Ron?
Yes, miss.
Miss can't hear.
Miss, I can't hear what.
Miss voice is not clear, Miss.
Miss,
Miss Tracy, can you hear me?
Miss, I can't. Like, miss, your voice is cracking, miss.
Okay, I'll just reconnect.
Oh, okay, miss. I'm sharing the screen.
She's just saying that, shall we call it a day? I mean, I
Yes.
could hear what she was saying.
Oh,
That's why
okay, sir.
I sort of.
Okay. Do the children want to ask anything else?
Yes, please.
Children, do you want to say anything else? I don't think, sir, they have any more questions.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
I'm telling it to all. I mean, it has been a great experience for me to speak to all the young minds. I wish I had something like this when I was growing up, when I was your age. But ma'am has my number. If you have any queries, please do ask me. Please do ask ma'am. Ma'am can,
Sure, sir.
if you feel shy
Yes.
now, it's okay.
Sure,
It's
sir.
understandable. But ma'am has my number, and you can obviously shoot in questions. I'll be very happy to answer them if you would like. So thanks a lot.
Very
Thanks a
kind
lot,
of you,
ma'am.
sir. Thank you. It was excellent speaking to you, sir. It felt, I didn't feel like I was speaking to you for the first time, sir. Such informal conversation with you, sir. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Stay safe, stay at home, sir. Yes. Thank you. There is kind of no sir. Miss
Same to
Tracy,
you.
could you just read it out for us? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You want me to read it out? Hello.
Sir, that's for you. That's a thank you note. Thank you
Okay.
note
Okay.
from
Okay.
Loreto.
Thanks a lot for Loreto. I'm always there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all the kids,
Thank you,
and
sir.
love you all.
Thank you,
All
sir.
the best. Hang in there. All the best. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, teachers. Thank you. Thank you, children.
At times the voice was cracking. I don't know why.